Yo, what's going on? Thank you so much for tuning into the channel. I am in the middle of creating a course right now called 200 Hourly, and one of the sessions, I guess you can call it, is called Accomplishing the Impossible. And I just wanted to make a quick little video, kind of going over a bit of what I go into in the course, but kind of like condensed. Okay, so you get the point much quicker, and hopefully this helps you. Okay, now I've done this a few different times. The first time was when I had to post a photo every single day on Instagram before Instagram was even a thing. Okay, I'm not even kidding. Like as I was posting, Instagram started becoming a thing, but at the time there was nothing at all that was allowing me to schedule posts or anything like that. Okay, now the one thing I did have to do, and I told myself I'm going to do this. I'm going to post a photo every single day. So that meant I could take a photo or take 5 of them in one day and then edit all 5 in one day, but then just make sure I spread out the post, like post day 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So I did it from January 1st all the way to December 31st, right? And this was several years ago, but this is like one of the things that triggered me fully believing in myself, and it raised my confidence level through the roof when it came to other tasks, okay? The next thing I did was this right here. I wrote a book, okay? Now, this book is called Stick With Me, #StickWithMeKid, How to Build an Empire from Your Brother's Girlfriend's Mother's Basements, okay? Now, in order to write a book, you need to write, right? Now, you can't just write like a sentence and then the book's done. You can't write a whole page and then the book's done. This book has like 285 pages plus a back, okay? Now, you could write a page every single day for 285 days, but I feel like, do you really want to be writing a book for 285 days? Like I don't want to write a book for a whole year. That sucks. You know what I mean? But what I did was I tricked myself and I said, listen, you have to sit down every single day and write a page, right? You have to write a page, 1 page. I don't care if it's shit. I don't care if it's amazing. Sit down and write 1 page every single day. If you come back tomorrow and reread it and it's trash, delete it, write another page, right? And what I ended up doing was some days I would write half a page and I was like, I'm ready to give up. But you have to write a whole page. So keep going. And what do you know? The second half of that page turns into some real gold nuggets, right? And the first half I could just delete. And it's like, okay, well, I wrote a whole page. Did I get a whole page, 1 whole page of like solid publishable content? No, absolutely not. Did I get 10% of that as publishable content? Probably, right? But the goal was to write a whole page in a Google Doc every single day. And I did that over a period of time, and it didn't take me 285 days to write it. If I focused, it would have taken me a lot less time to do, okay? Now, the whole point of this is like when you have something you want to do and you set a goal for yourself, okay? I'm gonna switch over to my iPad here. So this right here, so say this is you over here. This is the goal, right? This is your goal, and you're over here. You're like, man, I'd really love to do this. There's a huge journey that you have to take to hit that goal, right? Now, to hit that goal, I mean, it's massive. That goal is like the only thing you want to do in life, right? That's the only thing you want to do in life. So of course it's going to be quite large or it wouldn't be worth working towards, right? Now, in order to get there, you have, let's say that, I'm just going to use that as an example, right? So say you want the book, you want to have this book over here, right? And you want that to be a published novel, and you want that book published. That's a horrible book. I don't know why I drew it like that. You want this book published. So there's a starting point for you. What is the starting point? Sit down and start writing, right? So that's what you do. You sit down and write. Boom. That's it. What is that? That is step 1. Great. Now what? Well, what do I write about? I don't know. Maybe you shouldn't even sit down and write until you figure out what you're going to write. Or maybe by sitting down and writing, it'll actually all come to you. It doesn't matter. The first part of this is sit down and write. So then you work yourself, you work backwards a little bit here. We're heading forwards, but you work backwards and you're like, well, what do I write? Do you already have something? Okay, well, great. So just write it, right? Just write it. Don't overthink it, right? And if it doesn't flow, then erase it. Just get rid of it. But the point is just start writing, okay? Now, you could start writing the book itself. You could start writing the outline to the book. You could start writing a bunch of ideas to just come to your head and you're like, hey, you know what? I want to write about hobbies that I enjoy. Let's use a biography as an example, right? I want to write about hobbies. I want to write about my business background, right? Maybe you don't have a business background. Maybe I want to write about my family, right? Maybe I want to write about relationships or something, right? Maybe I want to write about something like maybe you're really good at math, right? Maybe you're really good at money. Maybe you're really good at health, right? Whatever it is, okay? These are all right here. I just came up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different chapters, okay? There you go. So you have 8 different chapters. You can break down each one into a specific number of pages. Make this goal start here, really small. Guess what? You accomplish that goal. Celebrate, you accomplish that goal. Then you move on to the next little goal. Hey, guess what? You celebrate again, right? Blah, 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 blah. All the way over to the big goal. But what you do is you basically take chunks out of that big goal, right? You just keep taking chunks out of that big goal over and over and over and over again. And all of a sudden, you start accomplishing things you never really thought you could accomplish. So you'd accomplish this, you take that chunk, you take that chunk, you do this. That's chapter 1. That's chapter 2. This is the outline again, because you're back to that. This is chapter 3, chapter 4, so on and so forth. And over time, that goal is completely smashed because that whole thing is achievable when you just take that huge thing and break it down into bite-sized pieces that you can actually achieve. For me, I wasn't going to post 360 photos in one day. Why? Because, that's not what my goal was. My goal was to post every single day, 365 days across the year, right? So that was my goal. Like I actually made it, to post a photo every single day was hard, right? It was very hard. They say it takes about 67 or 66 days to create a new habit. Right around that time, I actually truly felt something shift, and all of a sudden everything became a lot easier to do. And that was like 3 months of just like, oh my God, it sucked. Then after that, it was like all downhill or uphill from there, however you want to look at it. It was all downhill from there, super smooth sailing. It was just amazing. And the rest of the posts and everything came out perfectly. Like I didn't even have to think about it. It was just, it's like a habit, showering in the morning, right? It was like a brand new habit. So if you can do that, like every morning I would sit down. First thing I would do in the morning was write the book. Okay. First thing I would do, sit down and write. Period. Block out everything. Put headphones on, put some music on. It could be like binaural beats or some EDM with no words, or like make sure it's music with no words, and like control your inputs before you do this, right? So then you would just write one page. So I would just have one page with all the stuff, and that was day 1. And then on day 2, I actually may have wrote 2 pages. And then on day 3, right? That was day 2. On day 3, I may have written half a page, right? And, I was like, oh man, I should keep writing. And next thing you know, I'm ended up writing like a huge chunk, right? And then some days I really would write like 4 pages, okay? So the whole book kind of just came to me, but the goal was to write the book, right? So the timeline was like, well, how fast can you write the book, right? Like, how fast can you write the book? And once I hit like, oh man, I feel like once I hit like 100 pages or 80 pages or something like that, there was the new confidence level that came into play. And it was like, okay, dude, you're killing it right now. Now make sure that these 100 pages are actually good. Do you have 60 pages of quality content, or are there 100 pages of junk, right? Go back in and re-edit it and all this sort of stuff. And then, so that was like phase 1. Just writing was phase 1, right? And then you had to go back and edit, right? You had to do like a second draft. That was phase 2. And then I had to hire an editor, right? So like she had to edit it and proofread it, right? And she was like, hey, that doesn't make any sense. She's like, you're an idiot. Maybe write something else. No, she was amazing. So she's like, maybe write something else, or hey, maybe this doesn't make sense, or, you're adding too many sentences here or whatever. But the point is like, dude, I have 100 pages. I went from not thinking I could read, not being able to write, to then having 100 pages of a book. And I'm like 30% of the way done of the goal in my mind. I wanted a book that was like 300 pages. That is also not a really good way to break down the goal, right? The goal is like, hey, Now, if I were to rewrite a new book, it would be like, how can I help as many people as I possibly can in the least amount of pages I could possibly write, packed with the most amount of value I could possibly provide, and publish that book as soon as possible with the best editing possible. Like, my standards are a lot higher now, but at the time I was like, I just wanted to be an author. I just wanted to have a book. I just wanted pages written. I just wanted like my voice to be out there or whatever, right? Whatever the reason was, I just wanted it and I accomplished it and I got it done and it's on Amazon self-published, right? I've also sold it. I'm giving it away inside Dana University. So there's a link below. You can have this in there with a bunch of other free training and the rest of this training actually is in there as well. So these little things here actually lead to me figuring out how to make 200 an hour, right? Like if my goal is $200 an hour, so you can comment below 200 hourly, or you can comment 200, just 200 below, and I'll send you a link to the free course that teaches you how to make $200 an hour, or how I've made $200 an hour. Okay, not financial advice. So there's a free course down there. So if the goal is 200 per hour, right? So that's the goal, 200 per hour. Well, how do you do that, right? Are you like, if you're over here making 15, man, I cannot draw today, sorry. If you're over here making $15 an hour, well, quick math says 200 divided by 15, you're going to have to figure out a way to multiply that by 13.5 or whatever I just saw there, right? So you're going to have to figure out a way to make 13 times more per hour, okay? Now, how do you do that? Well, step one is learn new skills, because whatever the skill you have right now that is giving you $15 an hour, like this is skill number 1, and that is equal to $15 per hour, right? Now, this skill over here for $200 an hour, right? We're actually going to erase this, and this is the goal, so we're going to make the goal green, okay? Bear with me. Okay. So this over here is $200 per hour, right? That's the goal. This skill right here could be skill like 100, okay? This skill is number 100, okay? So you have to learn like 100 different skills in order to get up to $200 an hour, okay? You think a doctor gets paid what a doctor gets paid because they know $15 an hour's worth of information and that's like their knowledge? No. A nurse, same thing. No. A lawyer? No, absolutely. Okay. Absolutely not. Do you think Elon Musk, or Amazon, right? Like how many things does Amazon have to sell? How many cars and how many electrical things does Tesla have to make? How many batteries do they have to make? How many things do they have to learn to launch a rocket up in space? It isn't the skill number 1 to launch the rocket up in space. I'll tell you that. You know what I'm saying? They're on skill level like 5,000. Okay. So it's not a skill number. It's more like skill level. Okay. So the skill level is like number 100, okay, at $200 an hour. I'm just estimating here. Bear with me, okay? Now, how do you do that? There are things out there that you can do for small businesses, okay? Now, what you could do is like, for instance, the plumber, okay? Honestly, there's something in here that's kind of just made up. Okay, the plumber can charge like $150 an hour during the week and then say, hey, it's $250 an hour on the weekend. Why? Well, because it's an emergency on the weekend. But it's like, that's one way he just doubled his income. Okay, so that plumber, $250 an hour on the weekend, right? Wow. So does that mean you should only work on the weekends? Probably, right? Because then the rest of the week is freed up and you're making $200 an hour on the weekend, right? Realistically, you're not going to do that. But $15 an hour is like a McDonald's job. And there's nothing wrong with that. But if you want $200 an hour, well, then you're going to have to learn things outside of the $15 an hour job that you currently have, right? If you're making $40 an hour, great. Then you have a shorter distance to do it. You know what I mean? Like if you have $25 per hour and you want 200, man, you only have to figure out how to multiply that by 4. And you're there. It's so much easier for you, okay? So the closer you get to that, the less you actually have to learn. It just starts coming quicker and quicker and quicker, okay? Now, this is 100% something you can accomplish, okay? And how do I know that? Because I do it. Literally, right now, I publish posts, okay? this is just a photo or a post or whatever for a business over on Google Maps. Okay. So, they need 5-star reviews for their business, and I help them get 5-star reviews, right? Now, I have software that automates this process. It automates the process for the business. It helps the business get 5-star reviews. Now, me being able to provide something of value to that business, they're willing to pay me more than $200 an hour, right? So if I charge them $500 a month, if I charge $500 per month, and it only takes me, let's just say 2 hours of time, okay, per month, okay, 2 hours of my time per month, right there, right off the bat, that's $250 per month. But it's really only it's also $250. I'm sorry, I messed up. Let me go back here. It's $250 per hour. Okay. So it's $500 a month, but it's $250 per hour. Okay. Right there. So $500 a month. What can you do for $500 a month? And can you do it in 2 hours? Can you do it in 1 hour? If you can do it in 1 hour, you're making $500 an hour. Okay. Now, is that for a 40-hour week? No. And people, like, you're watching these YouTube videos being like, oh, I made $5,000 in one day. Well, how long did it take them to warm a client up and close that deal for $5,000? Are they closing $5,000 every single day, 365 days a year? Right? Do your research. Be careful who you're listening to, right? It could be a one-time thing and they never do it again for $5,000. Congratulations. You know what I mean? I sell websites, not every single day, but I'll sell websites for $4,000. I've also closed a deal for $6,000. Some of my clients close $30,000 deals in a day, but they're not doing that every single day. They want to. They're hiring me to try to help them close more of those deals every single day. And if I know they close $30,000 a day, right? Or if I know, let's just say $30,000 a month, if I can bring them $30,000 a month in business, right? What do you think I can get out of them? I could get $3,000-$4,000 a month because I'm bringing them 30, right? It's simple math. Let's just say I'm charging $3,000 a month and I can bring them $30,000. They're making 10 times more than they're paying me. Why would they not do that? Now, you might not be able to go out and do that right now. What you have to do is learn all these other skills. You have to learn all these other skills to equal the $3,000 per month. Okay. Now, what are those skills? Those skills could be like Google ads, right? It's usually lead gen related. So it could be Facebook ads, right? It could be Facebook ads. We'll just do lead generation. And basically that means that you're going to be driving customers, right? Or potential customers to the business over here. And that business is, going to be making money from these customers, really. And then you can offer another service. So that's one service. Then the other service is after they get the customer. So say now we're over here. The customer paid, right? And now the customer is like just really happy. They're over here just smiling, right? The customer's over here just really, really happy, and they're going to refer their friends and stuff. But what you can do is you can send them a quick little email, okay? Or a text message, and ask them to leave a review over on Google, right? You can have them leave a review over on Google. And then what happens is they leave a 5-star review over on Google. And then your client here, right? So that you can charge for, by the way. Your client says, oh, dude, thank you so much for getting these people to leave me more reviews. Why? Because when they have 100 reviews, right? When they have 100 reviews, guess what? There's only 3 slots at the top of Google for businesses that Google is willing to let pop up there for free. Okay. Now, if you can get those clients into the top slot, right? This is your client here, or this is your client. Doesn't really matter, right? Actually, it does matter. If you can get them in the top slot, you make the most money. If you get them into slot number 2, you still make good money. In slot number 3, you still make good money. But slot number 1, if you can get them to slot number 1, okay, what skills do you have to learn to rank a client? So pick a client. It could be a roofer, an electrician, a plumber, a solar sales rep, whatever, a dentist office, a chiropractor, a movie theater. I know somebody that does escape rooms. Okay. Like, it doesn't matter. Get them to the top of Google, because if they're not on Google, if they don't have a website, if they're not on top of Google, if they don't have reviews, they're not in business. according to the person searching to hire whatever your client does for a service. Okay. So I hope this video helps. You have to go out and learn new skills. So if you want to hit that $200 an hour, go learn the skill that provides you $250 an hour, $500 an hour. Okay. And if you learn the skill, but it's still taking you like 5 hours, just keep practicing, shrink the time, use artificial intelligence, go use ChatGPT, pump out a bunch of content, and use AI, like actually use AI to make sure you can make more in 1 hour than you ever have in your entire life. Okay. If you want to learn more about this, you can go down below and you can type in the comments, okay? Type 200 in the comments and I will send you a free course, okay? You can also join the free community in there. I'll send you a free course and I go way more in depth about this and I'll show you exactly what services. I provide you with an entire system, literally from step 1, okay, all the way to step 100, okay? We'll complete that. So this is 1%, right? This is 100 all the way here and out and throughout that whole time. Okay. There is free group coaching. Okay. If you want one-on-one coaching, I have that too, but I got to pay for that because it's out of my own personal time. And I know how much my hourly rate is worth. Okay. So you've got to do group coaching for now, but you also get all the courses and the free courses and stuff. If you end up signing up and you're in there and you like it and enjoy it, ask questions. I'll answer more questions. And I'm usually responding to questions with real custom videos specifically for you in the comments. Okay. So comment 200 below and I will see you inside Dana University, inside the free training. Have a great day. I'll talk to you soon.